Thank you so much for both watching and listening. We know we've heard it before, the power and the importance of your influence circle, who's around you and who you spend time with. But what Britnie and I are doing in this episode is something that no other podcast does.
Ever.
We're talking about our personal circle and how we changed it and how we altered it to go from, well, broke to woke. I'll see you in the episode. We're here talking about the importance of drawing circles. Right, Britnie?
We did go off on a tangent, drawing some circles, in which my circle is significantly better than yours.
We need to get some pictures of this, and we're going to upload it and show some people our circles. The importance of a circle, the people that you spend time with, there are scriptures, books, seminars, webinars, texts.
Proof.
So much important information about your circle of influence. Who are you around? Proximity is power. Tony Robbins, right?
And I think that's the next level way to think about it. Everybody has heard, you are the average of the 5 closest people around you.
Everyone's heard that. What does that mean?
Are you actually doing something about that?
What does that mean, though?
We explained it a little bit in an earlier episode, which is, the science of your brain and how your brain is going to tell you you're going to die if you get kicked out of this village. Now, your village are the 5 closest people around you.
Oh.
Right? So if you don't want to get kicked out of the village for being a big dreamer, pick a different village. Pick a village that's living those dreams. That's literally why I created G-Force. Is to have a dang village of people who want to live as a force for good, want to learn from each other, want to go through the highs and lows of life. And it's normal instead of everybody saying, stop giving. No, giving is primary. How do we start there and then back into our businesses? So, importance of circle. What has your proximity done for your life? And I want to hear what it used to be to what it is now and what's changed for you by changing that.
Let's talk about it. How far do you want me to go back?
I want to go back to bad times.
Okay, that should not be hard. So what we'll do is I'll go back, let's go back about 8 years ago. So 8 years ago, I am moving from Gainesville, Florida to Nashville, Tennessee. And the people in my circle at that point in time, we have my ex-wife, right? I was married once. You guys all learned that previous season. I have my boss, the assistant to the boss, a manager to the boss, and then who would be the number 5? No one. Probably someone like on social media or YouTube, maybe a comedian. I was still into comedy a lot, so I'd watch comedians a lot.
So wait a minute. You're saying that your circle could be someone you're just watching?
Oh, shoot.
Closely?
Oh, my gosh.
Online?
You guys picked up that nugget. That was cool. That's absolutely right. And I like that takeaway. Thanks for listening to that. So, yeah, those 5 people. So I would say comedians, bosses and people I worked with, and wife at the time. And that was it. Now, what's really intriguing about that, so you're talking about the 5 people that you're around the most. And when you say around the most, it probably will be your spouse and some family members are going to probably be in that circle. So make sure that they amplify you. Make sure that they pour love and light and generosity and greatness into your soul. And the people that we're working with at the time, not so much, right? Kind of like a very salesy 101, the pound the desk. We need to sell and make as much money as possible. And that was the whole focus of the company, which again, we all understand. Everyone here knows in order for a company to grow, you have to have sales.
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah.
But if you make that the only primary focus, you get what's called a greed center focus rather than a what, Britt?
Greed system versus give system.
Exactly.
Operating system.
Precisely. And having that methodology and seeing that just didn't align with who I was. I was very I want to add value to your tribe. I want to pour in enrichment to other human beings and groups of people. And I want to surround myself with integrity-filled, loving human beings. So what I had to do? Well, me and Haley eventually broke up and got divorced. And because I wasn't aligned with her, she wasn't aligned with me, we weren't aligned with each other's goals and visions. That was one step. And I have no idea if Haley's listening to this, but we've so far totally become absolutely okay.
Hi,
right?
Haley.
Yeah, we've washed, we've cleaned, we've talked through it, we've really, really healed, which was
awesome.
so important
Very
to happen.
mature.
Very, very mature. And she's an extremely strong, successful person because of that. Now, let's go to the comedians, the people I started watching. I did have a very interesting discussion with someone, AKA one of my bosses. So we're still in this group of 5, this circle. This boss had a communication with me saying, Jeremy, who do you spend all your time around? Who are your mentors? Who do you read? And that was a great question because I was always the funny guy at work. I was always trying to be, and he was asking me very direct questions. I was like, yeah, like comedians. Like I love listening to comedy shows. I love watching comedians. I love seeing how they tell stories and they speak and they make people react and it's laughter and it's fun.
I didn't even know this about you until this season.
Yeah, well,
that's crazy.
Always uncovering new things, right? And that was a very big wake-up call for me because I was like, yeah, he's right. I do only spend time reading and listening to and talking to and thinking about comedy. So if I want to be a leader, I should watch leaders.
Yeah. Swap.
But that's a swap. That was a moment in time where I go, okay, now I have to swap there. Now I start listening and thinking through and being around the people I work with at that time. Those are the primary people that you spend most time around generally.
This is why you held on to that job forever.
Yeah, well, this is a new one. Yep, but exactly. This is a new one. So these people that I'm working with, I'm spending most of the time around this new job, and I just don't love their character. I feel like they have a lot of ego, and it's all about money, and it's all about the focus of how much I can make rather than how much I can create.
Well, it's so funny because you've done the same activities, but the essence of the way in which you go about what you're doing instead of taking, like a spirit of taking, the attitude of taking, the essence of taking from people to make sales. You make sales, but you also do it through abundance. Like you just have this abundance. It's very who you are. So I want you guys to hear what he's saying. You can do the same kinds of businesses, but the spirit at which you go about them changes everything.
Can change everything. And it's an
still
easy
possible.
Shift. Yes. It's a very easy shift because what was naturally happening is when Haley and I split up and I changed my focus on, instead of comedians, to leaders, right? Les Brown, for example, Billy Ashbrooks, who I had no idea that you knew at the time. Allsbrooks, thank you.
He's amazing.
Billy, yes, absolutely. So I found him on YouTube just randomly.
You found him too?
Motivational speakers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Billy Allsbrooks, people.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Good shout out, man. Part of G-Force, a great part of the community.
I know.
And surrounding myself and having my YouTube and my feed and my Instagram and my Twitter and just watching and listening to people that I want to emulate that weren't specifically funny comedians, but were uplifting business owners or entrepreneurs, a.k.a. Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, right? Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill, Brene Brown. I mean, just going down the list. So having that interaction started to change how I viewed the bosses I was working with. And so knowing that I didn't want to emulate them, I started focusing my shift on ownership, creating my own company, creating my own destiny, creating my own future, knowing that this is what I want to do. Start with why, Simon Sinek. Having that direction going, oh, I want to do these things. And then pursuing that, knowing that this is how I am, this is how I want to shape my life, and going down that direction was massive. And the point I want to bring home to everyone is it's a domino effect. I'm absolutely not saying if you're married, divorce that person. No. Not what I'm getting at.
No, come on, guys.
Yeah. I was in a whole different space, whole different time, whole different mindset, whole different age. I was leaving a cult. It was a whole ordeal. But
it's part of the deal.
Let's just go with these 4, okay? Who I'm spending a lot of time consuming their information and the people that I spend my time with at work. Just changing that and making those super, super small tweaks in my circle was radically impactful.
Obviously,
Huge.
your attitude changed, but what happened to your finances?
So the finances initially, and this is the part that's going to scare a lot of people, initially they start going the other direction because you start making changes.
Other direction means down.
Down, yeah, right? So I had this sales trajectory. By the way, everyone listening, I'm an amazing salesperson.
Yeah.
So my sales numbers were great, crushing it, skyrocketing numbers. But when I leave and I start changing, I start pivoting and creating my own, what naturally happens, Britney?
Well, they're going to tell you can't do it that way. It can't be done that way.
No.
It can't be done with a pure heart.
No.
With Abundance Center, with caring about people on the planet. It can't be done.
So we're going to sue you.
Yeah.
Lawsuits come.
Oh, man.
The opposition comes. If you start making that judgment call in your mind, like, I want to do something different, you always get opposition. Me and you were talking about
Maybe
that
I
yesterday.
was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it can't be. Maybe I should be a nonprofit. Maybe.
Yes.
They are right.
So you're going to have that always. I promise you, my friends, if you're listening, you take that leap, there will be opposition. When you start to jump, the net is not there immediately. You have to free fall for a bit.
Dang.
And in that moment, you get to find out, right? You get to truly find out, what fears do you really have? What are you actually afraid of? What's really your heart intention?
Do you really want it?
Do you really want
Are
it?
you willing to do what it takes?
And I was absolutely ready to do what
That's
it takes.
amazing.
And so then my finances do start to shift dramatically, because I start to realize, wait a minute, I can influence anyone I want. I can go speak to anyone I want. I'm my own boss now. I have the ability to connect with whoever I want because there is no one owning me. There's no one that says I can do this, or I can't make this post on Facebook, or I can't share this link, or I can't talk about this particular stock. I now have the ability to do whatever I want. And that was freedom. First time I tasted freedom in a very, very long time. Ironically, most of my life.
Wow.
And having that freedom, that just opens up everything. Because freedom is my paradise.
Wow.
That's what I want.
We all do.
Yeah, totally.
We all do. We all do in our own way. Just some people are too afraid to go after what it takes to have that level of freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that jump. It's that leap. And that's the quit your job, quit everything you know, quit all the work, take all the money that you have, and just rely on your own knowledge, your own mental protocols, if you will, on your own skill set, and just go out into the wild and pour a bunch of value into people. And it will work.
And it's not for everybody. You
No.
know, if you can find, like, Jerremy, you have people who work for you,
Yeah.
right? Should they quit their jobs? No, it's, can you find an organization that does line up with your values? If you are abundance driven, you need to work with an abundance driven organization. That doesn't mean they won't have cash crunches and like be stressed about things. Just means, what's the essence of their being? What's their operating system?
Yeah.
So, so crazy. I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud.
Uh-oh, here we go. Another one.
I had a group here last week, Operation Underground Railroad, and getting to know what they do. They rescue kids for a living. I spent about, I don't know, a couple hours actually thinking, I want to work for them.
Yeah.
I haven't been employed since I was 18, and that was as a waitress.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever...
You're unemployable.
Actually, I don't know if I've ever had a real, like, a quote-unquote W-2 job in my life.
Yeah.
But I would for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I going to quit everything I'm doing and do that? No, I'm going to find a different way to serve them because I'm in too deep. But
Yes.
if you find someone that you line up with and you can serve that purpose and you do it better together in that company structure, because all a company is a pile of people underneath a piece of paper. You know, that's it. A pile of people that say, we agree, we want to move forward certain things, and there's certain agreements, you know, like, I'll pay you, stuff like that.
Maybe.
It's all fake anyway. Everything's fake.
Yep.
So it's just these fun structures that help us organize life. But when you can find an organization, again, that helps you get to your purpose, like join forces in some way, be it working for them, working with them, be it adding resources, but we are all better together. So I love that, and I love your story. Mine has been a little different.
Yeah.
Super interesting that when I first started out in real estate, again, I was living in my car, trying to learn everything I can.
Yeah.
And I was new to Nashville and nobody else was really talking to me, so I couldn't leave. And I remember thinking, okay, if I only have so much time in a day and I'm going to listen to the radio, if I'm going to listen to something, it might as well teach me real estate.
Sure.
And if I'm going to spend time with a person,
Right.
then because I got to get out of this car, they need to be a real estate person. So I actually filtered all my friends at the time because I didn't know anybody. So if I'm going to make friends with anybody, they have to be in the real estate space. What's crazy is when making $10,000 on a deal was what everybody around me was making. Guess what I made?
$10,000 on a deal. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
When making $100,000 on a deal was what everybody else was doing around me, guess what I was making?
No way.
Promise. And when
Wow.
owning islands became my friend circle, guess what I did?
Yep.
So be really strategic in figuring out how you can be around the kind of people you want to become in everything. Again, no human being should embody every single thing you want to be because every person's different.
Absolutely.
So you're picking and choosing. But if you want to grow your finances and you want to do it in an abundance way, find those leaders. And if you can't hang out with them because of COVID or whatever listen to every single thing they have on the internet.
Yeah.
Listen to their podcasts, read their books, surround themselves, change your feed. You said something so profound. When I was intentional with my feed, my life changed. So if you want or need to be a multimillionaire, which not everybody does, we just went through that in the last episode. Like, you don't have to be a millionaire to live your dream.
Nope.
But if you do need to be because your dream requires those kind of resources, guess who you should be hanging out with? We process information differently.
Yes.
When I first started dating my fiance, he said, "What do you admire most in a guy? Or what are you looking for?" I said, "I always look for the way people process information, because we can all get hit with the same issue, but how you internalize it, how you turn it into something is different." So that is truly what I think the essence and power of that circle is you'll learn how to process life events and turn them into something greater. And with that, we're going to have to go into our next episode.
Yeah, because I think people are going to want to know more about that. If I had a feeling, if I had to guess, people are probably waiting on every word to figure out precisely how we can do that so that we can go from broke
to woke.
See you guys there. There is one particular website which stands above all others. That website is broketowoke.com. And we have cataloged everything from the show. All the notes, all the workbooks, the downloads, the worksheets, the books, the resources, the tools, the information. You should go there. You should check it out and get all the free available resources so that you can go from broke to woke.